Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, yeah. I'm so handsome. All in Carmines with my Benzo, I'm so fancy. No romancing. Got my baby and she right, she make you vanish. No time to play, got book dates. Had a plan, only had to wait. Always knew I'd make a way. Send a bill, they send a pay. Keep it real, keep the record straight. Keep it real, no time to fake. All authentic in my own lane. I ain't me till I'm in the grave. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, ooh, never panic. Get a worry, send it up and then advantage. Yeah, I can't stand it. Out of all the way you move and see you scrambling. On offense, no defense. Still strong, no weakness. Used to say I wouldn't beat this. Now they wish they could beat this. Tables set, not tables turn. God's plan, don't say a word. Know the price, cause I know my worth. My time, get what I deserve. Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. Big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop. On my wrist, for real. LV on my chick, for real. Waco taking risks, for real. Went through hell to get to this, for real. I'm not puzzle making lists, for real. I stay low and stack my chips, for real. You keep looking for a flip, for real. That's not wealth, that's rich, for real. 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 For real, for real, really real, really real, really real, really real. For real, for real, for real, for real. No liens on the whip, for real. I get bored, I take a trip, for real. Take a loss, I never trip, for real. Been in shock, I'm not a lick, for real. Don't trust the soul, it's on my hip, for real. Make a move and you get hit, for real. No pictures by the crib, for real. Can't let them know just where I live, for real. 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 Really real. Really real. Really real. Really real. For real. For real. For real. On my wrist, for real. LV on my chick, for real. Waco taking risks, for real. Went through hell to get to this.
Good morning all. Yes sir, yes sir. Hope all is well. Hope all is good. Let's get it, let's get it. Let me see how all systems go. Yes sir, all is working. Happy Monday to everyone. Hope everyone is well. Good morning to all. Yeah, let's see what we got going on here. New week. Daylight savings haven't started. They have, but only in US. We're gonna cover that now. Let's have a look at the calendar while we're here. So daylight saving from yesterday in US and Canada. Thank you guys. Hope you all had a good weekend as well. But not for Europe. So Europe, the clocks are still the same. So that just means we have London and NY an hour closer. So NY open will be an hour closer. And remember that weird 4-hour time frame, like when we had the weird 4 hours, some brokers showed different. That's all going to be fixed now, actually. It's all going to be, should be fixed. Let's see if they do change it. What time does this 4 hour close in? 2 hour, 23 minutes. That is at, yeah, that's correct. Actually, yeah, now the 4 hour clock is back by 1 hour. Yeah, close at 1 o'clock again. Okay, so Owanda, Forex.com have adjusted. Owanda closing 2 hour, 23 minutes. Wow, we're finally aligned again, huh? Let's see gold. 2 hour, 22 minutes and 3 hours. So FX haven't adjusted for gold yet. They haven't adjusted for gold yet. So yeah, let's go and do the analysis here and run it from there. In terms of news today, we are very clean today. Absolutely nothing today. A little bit of German stuff at 11 a.m. Otherwise, nothing really. All very clean until Jolt tomorrow. And then the big one is actually Wednesday. Wednesday is the big one. CPI. CPI is the focus of this week. Focus of this week is going to be, seems like it's going to be the CPI here. So, seems like a long weekend this time. What do you mean long weekend this time? Oh, you mean you felt like it was a long weekend? Yeah, that can feel. Some weeks feel longer, days feel longer. So, the most interesting thing here is what we did on the webinar. We had a very in-depth webinar in the exclusive group. If you haven't watched it, you really need to, because we talked about the future of the dollar, the future of the stock market, what's happening in the stock market, what's happening with crypto as well, investment opportunities with crypto, how to manage all of that. And if you haven't been watching that, then okay, that's your loss, I guess. But it's okay, you can watch the recording, that's the point. But what's very interesting is to listen about some of those factors that I showed in there. And what's nice is we talked about money flow. We talked about money flow and where money has been flowing over this past week. We have seen a very weak dollar here, okay? Very weak dollar. Check this out. Dollar literally dumping from 110 all the way to 103. It's its biggest pullback since the beginning of the year. Biggest pullback since the beginning of the year. When was this? 24. Yep, biggest pullback since the beginning of the year, and absolute capitulation here. But normally when we see dollar weakness, we normally see money flow into where? Gold, right? But we didn't see money flow into gold. Gold has been ranging for most of last week. Look at 4 hour time frame. We have been stuck in a range, continue to be stuck in that range. So we didn't see money flow into gold. So where's the money going? Where is the money going? The money is going into Euro and GBP, because Euro's rallying and GBP rallied. This is 4 hour time frame again. So we're seeing GBP and Euro rallying against the dollar here. We're seeing general consensus of Euro rallying, right? But if we go and see like Euro GBP as well, Euro has been very strong. Of course, the DAX, has been also moving up, but stock market been moving down. Now, I went into depth in that webinar talking about why and stuff like this, but I want to show you what's happening. What is a safe haven currency? Does anyone know what a safe haven currency is? And one that we trade is the JPY. Now, the JPY has been doing what? Has been also having money flow into it. So we've been having money flow into the JPY. We've been having money flow into the GBP. So if we have money flowing into the JPY, strengthening the JPY, if we have money flowing into the GBP, strengthening the GBP, what happens? Range. We get stuck in range. Why? Because there's no clear direction, right? There's no clear direction, okay? So this is what's been happening. what's been happening is we have a strong GBP and a strong JPY giving us range on GBP JPY because we don't have a leading currency. We don't have a currency that is giving us the juice, to push. So we're still stuck in this range. Now, let's go ahead and do the analysis for today and see what we got going on. If we look at the daily time frame here, starting on the daily time frame, let's see weekly first. Weekly time frame closed bullish. Current weekly opened up on a gap here. This is a gap on this broker showing no top wick, but for me a gap. I do have a top wick on broker. This is a daily support down here. I'd like to mark. Previous daily is inherently bullish here. 4-hour time frame is inherently doji. Previous one is bearish here. And we're still stuck in the same range here we've been playing for weeks here. We've been playing this range for, I believe, 2.5 weeks if we look here. So we've been playing this range for 18 days. 18 days we've been stuck in this range, and in the 18 days we've only managed to move 100 pips, which is really poor in 18 days in terms of volatility. So since we're still stuck in the same range, the analysis is going to remain mainly the same. And we're gonna see what sort of happens within this range. Now, ranges are tradable because this is a big enough range, except for this type of stuff. This is not really tradable. This type of stuff not tradable. But if we're looking down on the lower time frames here, once we start to create clean candle zones like this, these are tradable. These clean candle zones are tradable in the range, because just because we're in a range doesn't mean we can't move through that range. The only thing that's not tradable in the range, and the risk of trading in the range, is since we're not trending, at any time we can do what? We could just stall like this, so we don't know. Now we can take our best guess at where price is gonna stall. We could say, okay, it's most likely gonna stall at X resistance, X support, but there is a chance that price just stalls in a range and you get stuck, end up probably losing your position. So you can't really blame yourself for that. If that was to happen, you can't really say that, you know, this sucks. It's just gonna be unfortunate. And this is a perfect example of stalling. We had clean candles here, but every single time it faked out until finally, after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it was able to fill that range. Same thing here, stalled, faked out, finally pushed through, right? So we don't know how many times it will stall. But today's mixed session bias, this is showing no top wick on this candle, but we do inherently have a top wick. 1 hour has a resistance here. We're going to see that on 30 minute. 30 minute also has a resistance here. We have a 30-minute support down here, which we're going to mark 30 like that. I'm going to mark this resistance up here as well. 30. I think 15 should be the same. No, 15 is not the same in terms of, there is a small notch here, but it's been filled by a wick. How big is this range to there? Is like 10 pips to here is 24 pips. Not the worst range. 1 hour looks clear. I mean, if you get a 1 hour close above there with a 30-minute, because when the 1 hour closes, of course the 30 will close. Basically more than one time frame closing above. If you get more than one time frame closing above, there is a possibility for buys. We are seeing a little bit more rejections, which makes me hesitant. But the last time we were able to close above here, we did get a good move. Now the sells today, the sells sitting at daily support right here. Below here, what are we working on? 15-minute here. We have a range worth of 13 pips is not bad with a good close. What is average candle size we're seeing here? What is that? 13 pips, not bad. This candle here was what? 18 pips, okay. This candle here was what? 13 pips, okay, not bad. This candle here was what? 13 pips, okay, cool. So we're seeing average candle size of a rough estimation just based on the candles we've been seeing right now. You can even see this most recent candle here, wick to wick, is 20 pips, so slightly bigger. The candle before that we measured was 18. So like we're saying, you know, between 13 to 20. So I believe if we get a good close below here, especially if it closes nicely, there will be an option to trade to here at least to break even with the possibility of pushing through. Now if there's no option, Below here is a pretty juicy range. That's 30 pips. That's probably the best range of the day. Below here, 30 pips. And we take it from there. So that's my plan. Now, inherently selling from here down below the daily support would be... It's pretty aggressive with the 1 hour rejection. I'd rather be trading below a 1 hour support at the moment. If the buys are going to play out, we spoke about that option. I'd say the buys are going to be less probabilities than the sells here, just because of the ranges we have on the buys. If you look at this, we're trying to get out of this, but we were in like this downtrend here, and now we're trying to accumulate. Sometimes pre-session we like to accumulate up and then continue down. That's very possible. So for us to completely reverse like this, you know, we're gonna need good structure there to basically make a U-turn here. So this is what makes it complex in the ranges, is most likely in the range, especially where we're sitting in the range. We're currently in basically the middle of the range. This is the hardest place to trade, because trading from the top of the range is easy. Why is it easy to trade from the top of the range? Because you're trading from the periphery. If we're rejecting the top of the range, sells most likely are going to make sense. Trading from the bottom of the range is super easy, right? Super easy as well, trading from the bottom of the range, because you can just look for buys. But in the middle of the range, that's where it makes it complex. Why? Because it normally has an option where there's both buys and sells, and it's about choosing which one will play out. Now, the only thing I don't like about these buys is this zone has been big headache for price in the past. Big headache means big headache. Almost all of our tops have been found at this resistance right here. So I want to be careful about that, and I also want to be careful that 10 pips above is a key level as well, and inside of a range we like to reject key levels. I'm going to show you this. If I bring this here to 191, you'll see these wicks, 2 wicks to the left is going to be rejecting that 191 zone. Look at this. Let's see, look at these wicks here. 191 rejected, this one here rejected, this, all this. So we need to see how price action forms. Now, looking at gold. Gold, on the other hand, similar story to GJ, right? Similar story to GJ. We are still stuck in this 4-hour range that we pulled into from last week. Now, weekly candle has ended up closing here bullish, giving us signs that maybe with CPI we could get a push here through the top of the range. Daily time frame is kind of showing us resistance and giving us a chance to make the lower high. But whenever we have a range, the nice thing is that whenever there's a range, there's a resolution. And normally the bigger the range, the bigger the resolution. So if we're going to have a bigger resolution here, it basically has to choose up or down. Both do make sense here. With the lack of geopolitical tensions, we can see the case for gold to pull back from here. Does make sense. And of course, the weak dollar not impacting gold at all is extremely surprising, right? I wouldn't say surprising, but normally we see a weak dollar definitely impact gold. So why aren't we seeing that? Well, gold is definitely at a high, right? We're at very high prices. I don't think investors would like to pull their money out of dollar and put it into gold, for example. It's just too much of a risk, I'd feel. Even myself, if I had money in dollar, my only time I put money in gold right now is if I was trying to put it in a safe haven to let things calm down, right? Because that's what others were doing. So right now, if we're looking at this, we still have the same range that we formed from last week. So analysis is inherently going to be pretty much exactly the same in this range. No bias in this range. Reason inside these tight ranges there is no bias, because it just can do whatever the hell it wants. Especially where we are today is probably the hardest place to be at, because we're not at the top to look from sells from the top to the bottom. We're not at the bottom to look for buys from the bottom to the top. We're bang on in the middle, and we're actually contracting. We're getting the price action. Look at the 4 hour. 4 hours started pretty wide, and now we're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Now the 4 hour resistance is only, so first our range was 250 pips. Then we widened up again, another around 220 pips. And then our range became 90 pips. Then our range went back to 140 pips. And now our range has gone as small as 50 pips. So you can start to see us condensing there, starting to become smaller in the range, starting to create resistances and supports closer to each other, right? Looking at 1 hour time frame here, I mean, if we try to look at bias, previous daily bearish, previous 4 hour bearish, technically there should be sells today in terms of following bias here. but bias is not always respected in a range because we're ranging. So I'm going to bring that 4-hour support up there. If we're looking at selling ranges, we don't have the biggest ranges here for sells. But one thing I would like, which would make sense, is we created this LTA pre-session here. See how that looks on 1 hour. 1 hour support at 910. There is a possibility if we can create a change of structure from somewhere, we can look for sells back down, but we need a change of structure. Without it, it's just a little bit confusing because you could get one bearish candle that just ends up going up, continuing up through the range, especially being in the middle. If we're at the top of the range, it makes more sense for sells. Being at the bottom of the range makes more sense for buys. So whenever we're in a range like this, we need more price action to form. The cool thing is above here, pre-NFP, basically NFP move here, it's pretty clean range here. It's a pretty clean range. So if we can make our way back to 29.17, there is some buys above here that are not mad. There are not mad buys, 75 pip clean range, which is juicy. It's a nice range there. So we kind of just have to make it out of this step one. Now the question is, do we want to start to retrace this more, retest the bottom of the range? I am quite liking these higher lows that it's forming here. You see these higher lows? We're forming some nice higher lows here, giving me confidence that we could see that leg up. But again, it doesn't mean it doesn't do this for a while and then take its leg up. That's why the buys above this 917 are going to be easy, because you can let it do its bullshit in here, whatever it wants to do, and you're not going to be involved in that. And you basically give it one shot. If it fakes out, okay, fine, you lose the trade, but you have the highest probability there. You get what I'm saying? Instead of trying to mess around in this range with all these resistances here and there, you know. So this is going to be the plan for basically gold. Is if we can start making our way. How far is it to there? It's about 40 pips. It's not too mad. We could definitely have there plus a move. If we find another way in, maybe for retracement sells, we're going to look to see how we're going to execute on that. You know, obviously coming towards the top of the range, we do have some resistances here, like daily resistance. It's about 20 pips away from your entry, that daily resistance, so I wouldn't be too worried. You'd have to watch these wicks. This is daily resistance somewhere around here, 19ish. So you'd have to use this as a watch zone. Again, if it rejects, you get out, then you have a lot of space above, right? Still above there, you have 50 pips. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at on gold here. So ideally, gold actually starts to get out the range. Higher time frame would be better for us for general trades as we just start to trend again. Now, DAX, last pair of today, looking at DAX. DAX is also starting to form its own form of consolidation here as well. But weekly is looking very healthy on DAX. Massive weekly candle close, no top wick about to flip. Daily candle has closed pretty healthy. Already a nice bottom wick made pre-session here. So that's a pretty healthy close. Not really giving me alarm signs. Now there is a rejection wick here, which is a little bit concerning, meaning that we could go into consolidation, but I'm not seeing any major breakdown just yet. So with previous daily closing bearish, we do have previous 4 hour actually closing bearish as well. So technically a bearish bias, but today if we start to see some sort of breakouts, I will be on the more bullish side. Why? Because it's a kind of like a rejection wick type thing. I'm not going to be fully sold. I'm not going to be fully sold on the sells just yet. But in terms of, you know, being a full bearish bias, like any move up, I'm looking to sell that move up. No, not looking to sell that move up. But today I can definitely start to look for sells as well, with bias being inherently bearish here. Mark our 4 hour resistances here. Here's one more. So we do have some levels on the way up. Now on the way down, let's see what the 1 hour is saying. We're about to create a 1 hour support here. Here's the open candle here. So it's pretty messy, to be honest. I would say buys have to come above the 4 hour resistance, which makes sense. Kind of planned for this as well over the webinar. Now the sells can start to open up below these 15s. It's pretty tight sells. You need a pretty good close here to give us enough range. But they can start to make sense. I mean, based on 1 hour, there is much more range compared to, let's say, a 30 minute here and a 15 minute. Now, inside of here, price action to form. Yeah, I would like to see Frankfurt open. There is even a possibility. This is what sucks, that it made it bearish bias. If today was at least mixed bias, look for liquidity grabs down to actually take buys back up to this resistance here. Seems like a very juicy range, this. We could look for that aggressive trade, but I don't know how. What's the probabilities of that right now? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you accurately what's the probabilities of that, as I rarely go against bias. 23 points is not bad. But I think above here could make sense, you know. Even though it's a news candle. Which one's a news candle? This one? So, yeah, even though it's a news candle, we could still trade it, because even behind it, there's only a resistance at here, this spot here, 190. You know? Because the resistance 190. So we have to see how price action forms. I mean, we could just create supports here and then start to move down through this range, which is also, like, if you're following bias straight, this is what makes it confusing with that big daily rejection. Like, weekly really looks like it wants to flip. Daily looks like a, you know, rejection candle, double rejection now. Now 4 hours is the only time frame that actually looks somewhat bearish. 4 hour does look bearish here, but again, we've left a rejection wick and this candle closing not strong bearish. So there is signs of bullish pressure, but towards the 4 hour resistance max. You know? So we'll see what ends up happening. We'll see what ends up happening. And then take it from there, to be honest. That's the best thing to do. Sell below 15 minute. I mean, ideally, but it's not the best range. We need a good close. You know, it's only 20 points there. It's not the... 1 hour, it makes sense. I'm just like, I wonder if I should just be bullish today. I wonder if I should just be bullish, you know, that's my question. Because if I'm bullish, it's pretty easy. I just look for continuation to flip the daily candle. Need to see this on broker, how this daily candle looks on broker. It's quite a tough scenario. So we had a gap here. Daily is already bullish on broker. You know, daily is already bullish on broker. And previous 4 hour close bearish. Current 4 hours bullish. Yeah, it's rough. I think the best buys are above this 4 hour, to be honest. Euro GDP all bullish? Yeah, that's not good thing for DAX. And yeah, that's the analysis for today. So pretty interesting analysis here, guys. Pretty interesting analysis. Yo, Harry, what's your thoughts on opinions on BTC? Been watching it, feel like money is aside. I made that webinar. That webinar really discusses that in depth, like full depth. It was the focus. I spoke about it like in depth. I explained where I expect BTC to go. I've been talking about this. I've been talking about how I can expect a bear market, and it seems like I talked about stock market dump I'm expecting right now. I talked about, yeah, I said like my plan was in this next two years I expect a dump here in this, and I think Bitcoin definitely will follow. I explain why. It's a little bit in depth, you know. What about Sol? Everything will follow with Bitcoin. Very unlikely you get an altcoin season. Would you rebuy the lows? Yeah, always. Always. Should I panic sell? Well, I mean, depends where you buy. That's why I advise people against buying at 90 and 100,000. I told you I was taking profits at 100,000. So if I'm taking profits at 100,000, I don't think it's worth buying at 100,000. That's just the way I think. So if you have buys at 100,000, I just don't think it was smart buying at 100,000. I think you should watch the webinar. That's what I think you should do. You should watch the webinar because there is a possibility of certain bounces. We could have a repeat of what happened last time. But this daily close is not a good close for people looking for longs. You know, 75 next. You know, 75 next. Wick fill, break the lows, 75 next. We might see reaction from. We might see one more reaction from this level here. 76s, yeah, 76s. We could see one more reaction. That reaction could bring us all the way back up to 95 again. It's definitely possible. If things really want to get crazy, some fundamental factors come out. We could see a move back to the highs, and then kind of what happened back here, right? We saw a move back to the highs. We made a new low. We saw a move back to the highs, inevitably making a lower low. We could see that. It's possible. Altcoin season is gone. It's never coming back. Pump fund diluted the market. I mean, I was saying as soon as all these influencers get involved, like all the signs are there, guys. It's just, it's easy for me, but for people running like, you know, who are just involved in it and don't want to listen, for me, it's easy to see because I've been through these cycles before. It's like me in trading. I can keep telling you, you guys need to wait for top wicks, but no one believes me till they see it for themselves, you know? And that's the thing, is I could keep running my mouth and keep telling you guys about these different concepts. You guys not going to listen until you lose money from it. Some of you will listen and will benefit from it. But the majority just don't want to believe it because they have this huge hope of just trying to get in before and feel this massive urge of FOMO if they don't get in, even if they lose, you know? So for me, as soon as all these influencers start rug pulling, as soon as all of this shit gets involved, Trump, Elon Musk getting involved with Doge, I know we're at the top for altcoin season. You know, I know we're at the top of altcoin season. You know? Smudge on the lens. Yeah, I need to clean my lenses anyway, so let me just clean it now. 1 second. Oh man, that doesn't help. I don't have tissue. Give me a sec. Let me go get some. Says I fixed it. It looks clear to me, nice and clear. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the analysis. If you did, be sure to leave a like. How much of us? 300 of us in here. Appreciate everyone showing on Monday. Great analysis today. Let's get the likes up to 150. Hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's video. That should help you a lot. And let's get it. Let's get it. I saw a study that came out and apparently 60 to 70% of crypto trades are washed sales. Damn. I watched your daily bias, which was pretty good. Can you tell me which video of yours talks about your entry strategies? The one before it should be a basic one. But if you want something more in depth, there's always the free course there. Help you get set up. But this one here as well is a nice one here to summarize it. This one and of course the Forex entry ones, these two here should help. Then if you haven't watched yesterday's video, visit the channel, leave a like on the yesterday's video and watch this video. It's a very good video actually. So enjoy. So we're seeing price close above here, potentially in 9 minutes-ish. I don't like the size of this candle. It makes me uncomfortable to take that buy. Could work, but you need like good rockets to come here. I can't guarantee rockets in this range, especially that all of our highs have been found from here. I would need to see some sort of more confirmation in this sense here. Otherwise, I feel like I'm buying a fake out. Gold is just back-to-back green candle. There could be a buy above 15 here, 15,500. Who knows when it'll come in crypto? Well, now that Trump's involved and all of this, I'm sure they will start to regulate it heavy, which is why crypto actually dumped. It's the whole anti-point of crypto, is people didn't want regulation. Cool, we're coming up to 4 hour, which is interesting. So we did get that push up to 4 hour. Obviously the open came, there's a little bit of Euro news here. We saw no bottom wick open candle here. So Frankfurt open here. Spreads are going to be high during that time, but they would have settled down like that. Let me see. They definitely have settled down for me at least. So if we're going to look for buys, maybe this could be the liquidity for sells. I do feel pretty comfortable if we were to get back below 23,156. I do think sells would make sense actually. A little bit lower maybe. Maybe I could push it to this spot here. So below there, I do think sells would make sense. Follow bias, yeah, that 5 minute. Now, if we remain above here, we need to look where's our ranges. We don't really have the best ranges here. We basically just made a nipple top wick on this broker. There was a top wick on my broker anyways, but just in terms of this broker's price action. So we have tapped this resistance here. We do have some sort of range here, but it's about 11 points. It's not the easiest to trade in these zones here with all this choppiness. Now above here is very nice. This would be the ideal scenario above here. Even I feel like if we can close nicely above 23,257, we could actually trade to that resistance, about 13 points away. Yeah, it even makes sense on 5. EU's buys to the top of the range. Next session bias. The only thing I'd be concerned of is this spot here. So it depends on the close. So you need to get a nice close, and then you can look to trade 2 here and see what happens. If not, then above this, I wouldn't worry about the 5 if you're taking it on a 15. So you just take this above this and look for that. But yes. Just got back, 2-week holiday, ended up trading while I was away, made 7%. The dream is real, soon to be full-time holiday. Amazing, man. Do you see the difference? You're on holiday, you're slightly busy. You see the difference? Like, this is honestly the truth. Like, this happens all the time. Every time someone goes and they're busier, they're more relaxed, look what happens. Like, if you're stuck at the charts all day and that's the only thing you have to do, and the only and you're super just trying to force a trade, like, that's great, man. Congrats. People asking questions about daylight savings. That's only for US session, guys. That's only for US session. Feel that, bro, is in Mexico. Oh, I thought, Carson, you're in Bangladesh, bro. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed your holiday, bro. Can you help me with setup 2 on gold? I always get confused how to take it. Yeah, there's no real setup 2 on gold right now. You have to have a good plan, man, you know? So setup 2 is all dependent of your plan. The idea of setup 2 is taking a pullback in a trading zone. So you need to first identify a trading zone. Just taking a sell here when this closes bearish, high chance you're gonna fail, because you're not full bearish bias. You broken structure here. There's just because one candle closes bearish doesn't mean it's time to take a setup 2, you know? EU looks amazing today. Yeah, if you guys are trading EU, then yeah, it does look good. You do have a nice room to there. Actually, GU also looks good here. Both of them look good. Still a good weekly candle close. Daily candle bullish close. 4 hour, not the best, but hasn't broke structure yet. Yeah, EU, GU look good here. Close, I mean, GU easy, close above here looks pretty good, to be honest. Harry, can you explain if US indices dumping heavily last week, then why was DAX holding price? Does UK have higher strength than in indices? Yeah, I think you need to watch my webinar in the exclusives. That's number one thing, because UK has not too much to do with DAX. DAX is a German exchange, so it's all German companies, not UK companies, first of all. And secondly, they operate internationally. They benefited drastically from, obviously, if US stocks are dumping, then people want to move their money. We saw some money move into DAX. Apart from that, we had an issue with what's all going on in Ukraine, right? So that's going to benefit the defense stocks. Bro, is the London session timing being shifted to 1 hour before? Guys, I'm very scared at the lack of self-discovery. I don't know even what to call it. Like, shit, man. You guys have to just Google search. Can you read what this says here? USD daylight saving shift. That is only relative to the US session. If that said Euro or UK, then it would be relative to London. So you're asking your session, excuse me, does London session shift? I get it, but you can easily find this information out, you know? Especially when I've been saying it 3 times this stream, 4 times this stream. Like, it's not that difficult to read here. The US United States enters DST clocks and are moved forward by 1 hour. Not the UK. So the London session remains the same. The UK session, the US session changes. NYC is going to open 1 hour before, that's it. Also NY session as well, both. Both the NY and the NYC are all 1 hour before. Everything is going to be shifted 1 hour before. Where do you get all of this information from? Like people moving money from here to there? I do research, brother. I do research. I use Google. I go on to different, articles. I read about those articles. I check fundamentals. I read about fundamentals. And then I deliver it. I actually don't like ChatGPT. I don't use it. I just read the articles. It's not too difficult to read articles. I also can see that from the charts. We all know you have magic 8 ball. That's it. That's the hidden secret. All right, check this rejection from this zone. Now, this comes no surprise to me, this rejection. Why? Because look at how many times we've rejected from this zone. So many times. You can check out the committee of trader data and all of it online. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with fundamentals. That's not going to tell you what news events are doing what. That's just going to show what retail is doing compared to commercials, and what commercials are doing compared to smart money, institutionals. It's just showing you an overall money flow, but that's public data, you know. It's useful. It's useful. It's good to have a look, but it's not the same as reading what is going on in the economy, okay? It's not going to tell you what's going on in the economy. It's going to tell you more about money moving in the charts. It's going to tell you sentiment. It's a sentiment indicator. It's a sentiment indicator. I'm trying to master my strategy, but feeling frustrated, don't want to give up. Yes, you have to. It's frustrated is normal. Everything is going to be frustrating when you don't get it easily. But if it was easily got, then everyone would be freaking gazillionaires, right? But at the end of the day, make sure you're following a strategy that is proven, right? Don't be following, like, make sure you have data on that strategy. Not that you watch some guru online flexing 30k profit and you think that that's the best strategy. Like, this is just the honest truth. It's the honest truth with this industry. People will happily pay $200 to learn from a guy who flex $50,000 online. Learn from a guy who's flexing instead of teaching. Whereas someone like me will sit here daily, show you their strategy work live. Keep in mind, you guys will never watch these guys' strategies work. You will just assume because they're only showing the profits, the aftermath of that strategy. But that's enough to sell you on that. And then after that, you'll spend all of your time. You will only need to pay, like, you will pay gazillions amounts of dollars failing funding challenges, gazillions amounts of dollars on education without proof, right? You don't have something when you have an opportunity to not even pay close to that. Not even to pay close to that. $50 is what I charge for a month. And on top of that, you get that course in that anyways. Like, you don't have to pay for a course. Even think about it this way. Forget about the group. You're paying $50 even to get the course anyways. You can get the video. That's free part of it anyways, and that's in a month. It's a no-brainer. It's really a no-brainer. Like, even sometimes I think about, I'm a little bit stupid undervaluing myself like that, you know. But hey, like, I'm here for different reasons. I'm really here to make a statement of what I can do and how and why. And I think over the time I've been showing that. You know, I've been showing that to just show up daily like this. It's not easy to show up daily like this in all different conditions and still come out on top. But I've been able to do it. You know, and why? Because I'm just true to what I do, man. I'm true to what I do and I just follow through with it. So, in my eyes, it's a no-brainer. And if you guys are blind to see that and use that opportunity and, you know, and freaking take advantage of it while it lasts, then I don't know. Like, if you're not watching my YouTube videos, if you're not showing up to stream, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, and I wish you success in your journey. But it's gonna be tough if you keep chasing that shiny object. I'm telling you guys from now. You chase that shiny object, you're screwed. You're screwed, man. You know? Harry, do you also manage funds for investors? I plan to, yes, but I'm not gonna do it for long. It's a little bit, look, see, investors want a different type of portfolio. They don't want, like, in my own trading, I'm happy to take risky shots. You understand what I'm saying? I'm happy to take risky shots sometimes, take a little 1 minute scalp when there's volume, but in an investor's portfolio, you can't do that shit. They want slow, steady gains. So you have to build a separate portfolio. So this is what I also enjoy to do, is to build a separate portfolio just for investors. Now that is a different style of trading than not what I do here, but you're basically, it's so simple but so hard because you're only taking A+ setups, and sometimes it's very hard to pick the right setups. So you just have to have this next level of discipline. But this is something that, of course, I'm looking into, as it's another source of income. And you know me, guys, I'm a big advocate, big advocate of multiple sources of income. So if I can just multiply sources of income, then why not? Means you're waiting for ages? Not really. You're looking to return per month around 2%. 1.5, 2% per month is good, because these guys are not gonna, you're gonna look for at least trading, at least you're trading minimum $1 million account, minimum. So returning $200,000 at the end of the year is great. It's great, you know, on that size portfolio. And you know, $1 million is when you're trading big investor funds, it's not that much. Like, you can gather to get a $5 million fund, $7 million fund. That's not easy to find those people immediately. You know, it's not the easiest thing to get a hold of those people, and you need to have the right platform, and it's you know. Yeah, that's a very interesting rejection we've got here on DAX, eh? So 5 is saying 5. You say that in Dubai. The thing is, it's easy to get hold of the money, but you need to make sure the platform is the problem. Custody of that money. Like, it's the platform. The platform is the problem. You need to set up everything custom. It can get pretty costly, you know. What site are you using to check your daily news? I'm using Forex Factory. Harry, have you considered to take Alex FX course? Why would I take someone else's course? And isn't his course like, most of these guys' courses are like $4,000, $5,000. It's the exact point I just talked about. Man, this is driving me nuts. I'm going nuts on the internet, bro. So I don't need to take someone else's course if I follow my own strategy. And again, I don't want to just take a course. I want to, if you're going to get education, I'd rather have that education where you get to speak to that person teaching you. Right? It's like, it's the way we learn in school, you know, like, it's fact. As much as we can hate on school, but there's a reason we have a teacher live. Otherwise, all school would be done just watching videos, but no one would learn. You know? Like, you need that. Like, even if the person is extremely busy, if they're extremely busy, then they shouldn't teach. But if you're like a very, you know, if you're someone who's like super big, super famous, like even Alex Hormozi, man, even this guy, to his top people, he teaches in person. Like, there's a reason why. You know? Darren X is good. Yeah, it looks good, that actually. It does look good. It's just a little bit complex, I think, with the way they take fees and stuff. I don't know. I think it's way easier. What really threw you off for the DAX? Because 15-minute didn't have a close above? Yeah, also open no bottom wick as well, you saw. Also, we're bearish bias. So that doesn't help. I vouch, I've been in many paid groups, expensive, but price value here is unmatched. I appreciate that, brother. Kind of you to share those words. So if we can get a little pullback here, bullish 5-minute candle, next one bearish close below, we can take sells. So I'm going to look for that. What's interesting, it looks like we are rejecting this previous 5-minute here. We'll see if this becomes problems. So what would be great is to see this current 5-minute close bullish, next one close bearish below. If we're going to continue buys, we do have a new buying zone above 176. Let's just see where 15. Yep, that's above the 15 as well. That's pretty perfect, actually. You know, that's pretty good as well. This is also a 15-minute here. And a previous 1 hour slightly below. So Ents mentioned that. So I think it makes more and more sense to be looking for something below here. But I really would like to see something pull back. Although we do have one candle with 1 minute structure. There's no top wick here. Would break my rules. I feel like people buy courses to feel like they're doing something, ignoring their experience will give them an edge in the markets trying to avoid. Yeah, I think that as well. Like, in my opinion, I don't think it's a bad thing to buy a course to get set up. But a course is not going to make you profitable. It's going to put you in the right direction. The thing I fear is most people courses I don't think are comprehensive enough. Like the videos I put in the exclusive are comprehensive enough. They have basically everything. I could sell that by itself as a product for at least, I don't know, I'm saying at least $150, and that I feel is cheap. I could probably get away if I rebranded the way I do things, sell that maybe for $400 with great results. Like, people will actually benefit. Wouldn't be a scam course, right? Wouldn't be a scam course. So the fact that I include that free is pretty nuts in itself. But my issue I have is most people who sell courses are just regenerating free content. Like, it doesn't take you from A to B like the way it should do. Like, the thing with the way that I teach and the videos I put in the exclusive, I always give action steps. Like, I explain information and then make sure that the advanced concepts are also also giving action steps on it. So that's what you need in a course. So let me show you this. This is good for you guys who are out there in this industry, who are might be taking courses or considering buying other people's. I won't do it until you listen to me now. First of all, this is all the videos, okay? So obviously this content is more designed for people in the group. I just teach people how to navigate the group. What level trader? The first thing I make people do is not watch what I want to tell them, is to identify where they're at. So the first thing I make everyone do in the group is watch this video and identify what level they are at as a trader, and then with that it tells them where they need to work on. And then from here they can watch videos, okay? These fundamental videos would be just like a general course that you find. Now the difference between this and YouTube, more in depth. I'm giving this more in depth. I'm of course using internal, external ranges. I'm basically giving you the framework. Now these fundamental concepts, these are the small details that really get you over the edge, you know? Like, these are the small details that make sure that when there's an uncomfortable situation in the market, you know what to do, right? You know how to tackle that, right? Like, you know how to manage trades, you know how to counter trend trade, okay? And then the important topics, these are topics that just happen on webinars. So we're doing webinars weekly, and these are the topics, these are organic generated content. This is the problem with general courses, is the courses will not build this type of content. Because this content hasn't come from me, this has come from the members. Members has asked, can you make a discussion about this? I record it and post it. Same thing with the featured webinars, and of course we have tons of webinars in our webinar section. So if you're going out there to buy a course, guys, please do not buy a basic course. I do not think it's going to help you. You know? You should hit up Sarah Safari. Why should I hit her up? Gym vid? You mean do a gym vid with her? Isn't she dating Togi or something? I saw them, they collabed or something. I think it was fake. Bro, I'm not even in their country, bro. I mean, what am I supposed to fly? Tell her to come to Dubai. I'll hook her up. Dubai, everything's sorted here. No problem. Low-key Paddy. No problem. Send to Dubai. Send to Dubai. It took me buying a course, then failing to get an idea. Then I knew what to look for and found Harry. If I failed, I won't. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the best out there, right? But the good thing here is I'm trying to explain to you guys that at some point you need someone to help you along your journey, right? And whether you do that through self-discovery, but there'll always be someone guiding, right? There'll be concepts you've heard from a YouTube video, wherever it is. No matter if you figure that yourself out or whether you do this, but I'm trying to help you guys navigate this industry safely, because there's a lot of people who will go through this industry and lose money from not only trading, but lose money from giving it to others who don't deserve it because they're not giving you value back, you know? Say some guy's charging $100 for a beginner crash course, and he's giving you all the information you can find for free, but he's putting it together and delivering it well. That's worth $100 because he's stated that this is the beginner crash course. You can find this for free, but I put it all together and I've made sure to put it in order and make it presented to you nice. That's worth it. You're just paying for his time of doing that. I agree with that. That's fine, as long as he makes that clear. What I don't agree is that same person selling that for 500 saying that this will make you profitable. Aha, now we got two different things. So don't get stuck there. Just send location. Send location. I'm here waiting. No problem. Just go DM her. Say, okay, Tradesharpe is in Dubai waiting. Actually, don't. You guys will probably will, and then it's really awkward. Really awkward. All right, 2 minutes for this 5-minute candle to close here. I would love to see structure. Really would love to see structure here. It's just moving like a bit of a ping pong at the moment here. 12 minutes for this candle here. Last time I took impulsive entry, didn't go too well. I'm going to stay away from impulsive entries for now. Trading funded my gambling streams. Do you actually gamble stream? I'll watch it. Do you party at Dubai clubs on the weekend? I've heard a lot of models come there who are interested in rich buds. No, I stay away from that stuff these days, man. I have bigger priorities. I mean, if a group of friends was to go out and I want to spend time with them and they wanted to spend time listening to good music, okay, no problem. I'll join, but I'm not purposely going out to flex and blow money. When I was younger, 17, 18, I used to party, but I kind of got over that stage, you know. But I'm not literally against it. I don't drink though. Have you heard of that? Yes, I have, Tony. When you get caught with that type of stuff here, it's pretty much game over. It's no joke. You need to read between the lines, you know, like anywhere in the world, to be honest. Five-minute does look like it will actually close above here. I really want structure, man, as much as so tempting this to just rip it here, but my stop loss is really not protected here. Now, I could run stop loss below the whole range here, but then it's just not worth the trade. Hopefully it will make my life easier and close below, and then I don't need to take it anyways. You need a license to own alcohol in your home in Dubai? No, you need a license to buy it in Dubai, but you don't need it to own it in your home. Because you could, like, for example, if you go to the airport and it's duty free, there's no license required in duty free. So you could bring that home and no one's gonna say anything. If you buy in like other states like Ajman, which is 40 minutes away, stuff like that, and bring it, although technically it's not really allowed to a certain limit, like a driver's license or some sort of alcohol license. Everyone can get it, So the reason they did that, John, is because they want to stop people who can't really afford alcohol and are just buying it. They also wanted to stop reselling. So all it does is it sets limits. It sets limits based on your salary. That's really how it works. So it's setting limits based on your salary. So if you earn X amount of money, you can buy X amount of alcohol. If you earn, like, if you're only earning $1,000 per month, they're setting limits on how much you can buy because they don't want people blowing money. That's the only thing. And of course, verify your age. That's the only other reason to have alcohol license, to verify your age, which can be done with ID. But listen, it's all done online. You don't even have to go anywhere. It's all just done online. Send one salary certificate and that's it. That's how you get one. Now this pushed through here. Now this didn't close above. This didn't close above, which is a shame because it would have given us something nice if this actually rejected this candle here and closed above. It's just being tricky, DAX, man. Bouncing up and down like a yo-yo. It's a very smart rule, you know. It's a very smart rule. It just stops, you know. It just stops. It stops people. But I mean, you know, if you want, it stops people from purchasing unnecessary amounts. But those same people can go to a bar and just buy as much as possible. But again, it's kind of just keeping it off the streets at that point, because then there's not gonna be like bottles everywhere and stuff. So I agree with it. I agree with it. I think it's a good rule. Yeah, Carson, apparently that is supposed to be the best. Calorie wise as well. Let's see DAX here, what ends up going on. Why are candle closures significant for moves? A best example would be this. Let's say you took a buy here, but this candle didn't close. So look what ended up happening. It rejected, next candle went even lower. Next candle went even lower. This is a problem because without closes, it's all randomness. You're impulsively trading. When you have a candle closing above a zone, it's giving you that confirmation that this is doing what the other candles could not do, right? Which is an actual close. So it's definitely something a little bit different. We're gonna see what happens with DAX. It's moving very weird today. This is like a full, I don't even know what to call this. These are pretty hard to catch where it just goes down and goes up randomly. Unless you impulsively trade, but impulsively trading has not been accurate, man. We tried it. I got cooked the last time I did it. Especially with this type of action it's made. And no 5-minute structure, it's just super dangerous, man. Super dangerous. You have to rely on only one 1-minute bearish candle at the time when it broke through that. Oof. One 1-minute candle to survive everything. And if you're looking at stops here, you'd have to run, I mean, when you're impulsively trading, you should be running 15-minute stops, but let's say you put an aggressive stop here. 23, this is as aggressive as it gets. 19, it's not bad, at least definitely your break even, but this is just stuff that looks good in hindsight now that it's pushed. Especially that it closed below as well. GJ can get below here. Next candle, I would assume. Maybe even this candle itself. Just in case we're looking at something else, I'm going to set an alarm here. Just in case, because sometimes we get distracted. Alright, in Pip Labs, I can't see partial close. I also can't see news events of the day. Yeah, news events only show red folder news, and it depends if it's been updated. So our news events gets updated once a week. The best thing to do is go on to Forex Factory and just select the, you can go to the calendar here and you can put the date you're trading and just go next, 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 next. You know? So you can go next, 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 and this is the best way to see the news like that. We're actually very soon going to launch where you'll get daily news straight through that. We asked Forex Factory, but they're not replying. Would be great because that's the news I want. And they do keep a database, so it would be great. In terms of partial close, you probably don't know the button. I can teach you now the button. Let me show you the button. So partial close is right here, man. It's a scissor tool. It should be pretty clear. Let's just put a strategy here. Just open a trade. Oh man. Let's put a stop loss. Alright, so let's say you get triggered. Go to trade feed. You see the scissor? Press the scissor and you can adjust how much you want to close. 50%. You drag the slider. But with the scissor, you have to press the scissor button to get the partial close. And then you choose how much percent you want to close. 45, 50, 55, whatever you want. Cheers, John. Enjoy your day, brother. Enjoy your day. Harry, if you swing trade, would you make more money? Definitely not. I think I would be the same, man. If I focused all... I think if I focused all my attention to swing trading, it would be the same. It would be the same as what I make now. I think my swing trading strategy is solid. The thing is that I need more focus. Like I can't do both full intensity at the same time. I do personally swing trade. I do look for swing trades. Normally around mid-year, I start swing trading just as I get set up in my normal day trading. But honestly, I prefer a day-to-day basis. Come to the charts, take a position, leave, take it or leave it. Let me remove this alert so I don't get an annoying beep sound. I'm looking at the charts. 2 minutes for the candle close here. I don't like stop loss. I wonder if we can run a smaller stop loss here, just above 5-minute structure. It really shouldn't need to break 5-minute structure here if it wants to go down. I'll be very surprised if it breaks 5-minute structure. Let's see, 1 hour. 1 hour about to break lows. Just broke the lows. We're going to see this candle close here. Looking around a 20 pip stop. If this just pushes through randomly, I'm going to look for the original plan, which is below here. Especially with the way we push now, I do want a nice deep top wick here. Or at least a retest top wick, something like that. I don't want it to push any deeper. It's going to make stop loss hard. Otherwise, I'm just going to wait for below here. You know, this is becoming only like 8-9 pips here. 8 pips already we have, you know, and we're just trying to get break even. So waiting for 8 pips is you know, not much. But we're going to see how this candle closes here. No 1 minute structure, so we need that. Just we want to be cautious in a range, especially when original plan is below here. But if we can get in a little earlier, it might be okay. Let's see this top wick. Maybe stupid question, but does trading live give you extra pressure? Yeah, of course. People will hate on me if I lose. I'm also risking my whole brand, right? If I'm risking my whole brand, because if I listen, people are very expectations are super high. If I was to go through a bad patch, no one would stay around. Not no one, but a lot of people would not stay around. That will ruin the algorithm, make it very hard for me to grow on YouTube as well. So there's risks to it. Of course, that's going to add pressure. You know, obviously it adds pressure wanting to be right, you know, but it's pressure I'm used to, because I've always told myself I'm here for me. I'm not here for, as much as I like to help you guys, but I'm not really, like, when I trade, I'm trading for me, right? I don't really get paid from you guys, you know. The last time you guys asked how much I made on YouTube, we went through it. It was not very fun. So we did close below here. Let's see how it looks on broker. I don't want to try the wick fill without a deep top wick here. No. It's a very small top wick, huh? That's just making me uncomfortable. 3 back-to-back candles. Will we get a 4th candle back-to-back? Just very uncomfortable in this scenario. Very uncomfortable. Like, I feel like it's so much risk just for 8 pips extra. Just for 8 pips, you know? If I see this flip, make a bigger top wick and reflip down, I'll take it. I'll take it at that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was scared of. See if this ends up flipping bullish. Would make me more confident. Why not wait for original plan? Because we might just push through the zone. This is still a valid plan. It's still a valid plan. You know, just nothing to put SL. SL would be above 5 structure. It really shouldn't need to break into this range, because it would have to break above this, and break through this to stop you out. It's like, if it's getting there, yeah, you're just wrong immediately. You know, it's just wrong immediately. Come on, flip bullish. Give us that liquidity to prove to me you want to go up. This might. I'm going to be interested to see if this gives the push. Without the liquidity grab, I think we're safer selling below here in terms of a safety perspective, you know. It's really not that far away. But now the only thing I fear is it pushes through, which was my original fear. So we'll see if it pushes through. Then I guess I should have been more aggressive, half. I should have gone half on this and then half if it gets the closure. And if it doesn't get the closure, I'm still in. We'll see, we'll see. Very tough conditions to trade. Very, very tough conditions. Even gold is trying to set up. DAX again dumping, second time at these highs. DAX is looking treacherous. Would it have given you your 1-to-1? 22 pips, 17. Not exactly. Probably would have been out break even. I wonder if there was anything to go break. Yeah, you could say break even 1 minute structure. That's valid. GJ looking valid. The more and more I think I should have probably gone on this one. It's really hard with the way it's forming these days. It's really hard. It's like you're so cooked otherwise, you know, you're so cooked. That that easily can come back. That's it, you're out. 4 back-to-back candles, yeah, that's what put me off, you know, especially with like 7 pip range. It's like, if it works out, it's great, because now you're in a safe position, right? By the time it reaches the support, you're in safe position. Now you're holding it to try get your 1-to-1 here. You know, the point is you just break even here. 7 pips is enough to get to break even. 26 pips is all the way down here anyways. You know, so if this can create like a thunder, you're gonna get smaller stops anyways. You're gonna get 19 pips, so it will make more sense. 19 pips is only here. So actually both ways it's the same, because even if you took this one, here's your 1-to-1, you take this next one, here's your 1-to-1. So both ways it's practically the same. So, but which one is more confirmation? Definitely the second one here, if you could survive it. If you can survive it. Look for a 5-minute entry. You can take it, you can take it. I don't like 5-minute entry in this type of scenario without anything closing below. 1 hour close bullish, 30-minute nothing close below. If we had something closing below, I'm with you on the 5. I'm with you on this 5. But you could take it. But my question is, why not take this one then? If you're happy to take this one, why not this one? That would be my question. So I feel like if you're going with that aggressive option anyways, then this should have been your option 100%. Should be in on this one here, break even here at the support, and just let it see if it can push through. You know, and if it comes back to tap you out, fine, you gave it a shot. Fair enough. Can just wait for 15 if we get the 15, you know, it's all we can't. If we wait for the 15, it's still quite some time for the 15. The 15 will be the best, because it's not only a 15, it's a 15, 1 hour and 30 it will be, but that's in about 8 minutes here. 8 minutes, so that's quite some time. 7 minutes here. So unless it actually does a pullback now, it's high chance it's just gonna probably either end up somewhere here. We'll have to see. We can't say actually. It's just at this time, like if I was super confident it would end up pushing down, then I would just press sell, right? So it's that lack of confirmation confidence, because I can see a case for a pullback. We haven't had a pullback for a while. What we really want is something like this here. You know? Good to be here. Thanks you for the video yesterday, giving me so much value, made me consistently profitable. Amazing, man. Thank you for the free indicator. I'm glad you liked it. So hopefully just at least one 5-minute candle pushing bullish. But with the way GJ is, I know that can not be a thing, and I'm not going to be upset. See, the crazy thing is now, if it pulls back and makes structure, I'm going to tell myself, okay, that was good, I waited. If it pushes, I'm going to say, hey, that was an option, I should have taken the earlier option. You know, so another one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't thingamajigs. But yeah, let's just hope for some sort of structure here. That's going to be great. EU plans out the window. Yeah, we had some dollar strength seeming to come in right here, man. A little bit of a dollar bounce causing EU to dump there. There is a high chance 5 will close bullish right now, so that is looking like it wants to create structure. Oh, or it just does that randomly. No top wick open. That's great. Definitely helps. us. Gold 4 dumps in a go. Good. Nice volume. Rejecting. GJ buys after retest. GJ being such a pair, I don't know. 9 price action looks tricky this morning. Yeah, it's just about choosing options and taking that risk. Like I said, I think looking back, probably have to go with that one. But you're still not at your 1-to-1, and that's with aggressive stops. So it's still not over yet. So we'll see how it pans out. Easy in hindsight. If this rejected, it's just really, you're relying everything on this 1 minute. But listen, man, didn't tap that 1-to-1. So let's see how this pans out, because it's not over yet. And this with aggressive stops just above the 5 instead of the wick, which is, I think, fine. But it's not panned out yet. We have to see what happens here. We have the 1 hour candle close in about 47 seconds. Could be a wick fill opportunity here. This wick has not really rejected much except for this 5, right? There's a 5 here. Yeah, we rejected around this 5. So if we can get a very deep top wick here, you will have a wick fill opportunity. But at the same time, there is a chance this closes above here. You never know. So that's why wait for closures. Wait for closures. Now, it is looking highly likely it will close below in my eyes. But I hold myself reserved until an actual closure. So if this generates a deep top wick, will basically give us the liquidity needed to fill this wick, instead of this being a rejection. Without a top wick, it still works, it's just a little bit more risky. It's a pretty good top wick there. Can it continue more is the question. Let's have a look at this, see if we can get set up. It's kind of opened up on a gap for me, not really, that's weird. That's a gap for me. That's a gap. So a little bit confusing. It's actually filled the full wick on my broker already and broken the lows on my broker. So that's filled the gap for me. That's weird open, man. That's a weird open. So not really a wick fill if you ask me, because it's opened with a gap. So yeah, let's see what happens. How price action forms. I'm in. Just be careful, man. I'm not sure what you're in on. Just be careful. It's opened with a gap. That gapped up, man. That gapped up. Very tough, like this scenario. This is the proper top wick we're talking about. That's what I would have liked to seen. So now we're creating that. There we go. So this makes a lot more sense now. Cool. So now we're actually forming something somewhat tangible. 1 hour time frame is popping up nicely here. So something leaving this lows, we might be able to have some options. We're going to see how this forms. Now, let's see. I want this to close bull then close below. Yeah, something like that. Bentley would not be a bad idea, exactly. Or imagine you could have a sort of setup. 3 here is possible as well. A little bit of a longer wick than I would have liked. But if it closes quite weak, would work. Break of low, 5-minute high candle stops. Also could be an aggressive option here if we just get volume. I'm not really seeing a lack of volume here. We're gonna check that out as an option. We do have the top wick I wanted, which is nice. Spreads got big. This is what my broker looks like. Yeah, my broker looks... Oh, damn. Yours looks really weird. Jesus Christ. Okay, mine doesn't look like that. Mine just broke the low by maybe a pip. It opened weird. It definitely opened weird, which is why I didn't execute on the flip. It did open weird. But I didn't get that type of long rejection wick. We rebroke the lows now. Such a weird candle, this. I need to watch it on broker. On broker, it looks different, man. Five-minute close in about a minute. I think I can make a decision on this 5-minute close, unless it pushes like this. Yeah, I think it's gonna go. Yeah. I guess the option was this option. You would have survived the pullback as well. There's not enough range anyways without that. Great volume. So if we look back at here, then the option is you go aggressive on the first option. That's the option. You miss that option, that's it. Gets tough to get in. Oh, weird open here. Looked very different for a lot of us. Again, if it made that top wick first, I could have got in on the flip. Flip would have worked nicely. Again, stop loss on the flip here. Not too bad on the flip. If you look at getting on the flip about 20 pips, that makes sense. 20 pips, target here around 27. You're easily cooking. Nice 1-to-1 there on the flip already. 28 pips now, 29 pips. Pushing. Very nice GJ sells. That was the plan of the day. Close below. Very nice. But just the simplicity of an opening candle moving weird makes that happen, right? So you can't really take a wick fill when you open up on a gap and then it kind of breaks the low already, because the wick has been filled and then comes back up to fill that gap. It opens and make a top wick, and then you kind of say, okay, everyone's, I mean, check this out. This is how someone's candle look like. For me, that's almost target hit. If I took this trade, I'd probably be break even and get stopped out break even based on my broker, just on the way that it just on the way it forms. You know, I would probably be now myself break even in that type of scenario there. And yeah, you know, that's the way it kind of will dictate. Now, if we're gonna look to sell the lows today, I would have liked then maybe a 5-minute close just to give myself stop loss above the 5, because I could put stop loss above the 15, but then risk to reward, guys. Doesn't make sense. 29 pips for a push of 22. Yeah, it's pretty close, but at the time you can't maybe guarantee 22 pip push. Some of the guys took it, and very good. They're out with profits. So yeah, depends on your close. And you're out BE. So DAX ended up dumping through our zone here. That's a 15-minute nice close. That's the close. Would have probably waited for 5 below support. Steven got that on the 15-minute here. B at the support. Yeah, interesting. I probably would have looked at the 5 in my opinion, but with that 15-minute stop, it made sense actually. Made sense with that 15-minute stop. But did you hold that in the open? If you held that in the open, I think it's too risky. Time is at 45. In the open, I wouldn't do that, just because it's an open candle. You know, you can get really cooked. Just be careful on open. So DAX moving down now. Some heavy volume. There's a big zone here. We'll see where the 1-hour support is. I remember it's pretty close. $15 is there as well. Where would I put my stop loss on the GJ trade? Which one? The first one or the second one? Second one above 15 minute. If we opened up properly here. Opened up on a gap. Made it very hard. It looks clean on this broker here. Looks clean, but on my actual broker, I mean, look at Matt's broker here. Matt broker was nuts. That's how it opened. Like, it not only filled the wick, but gave you TP. His broker reached TP. So very weird openings here. I had a gap up like this. It was opening like halfway up. And then immediately flipped and filled the wick already. And then we got a top wick. So at that sense, since the wick is filled, how can I take a wick fill on a wick that's been filled? If that makes sense. So I just kind of happened within a second. Yeah, it was weird. Even for me, the candle opened up, made a quick top wick, and then was down here. You know, it was down here. So I was not sure what's going on. So I just stay out of that when I don't know what's happening. Ideally, then I guess the nice setup here would have been this one here, this close below. The one that I was speaking about initially, but was a little bit hesitant about the earlier option here. So that was the only way to enter this position here, I feel, in a better perspective. Yeah, again, a little bit more of an aggressive option, but I feel that's the only way in this type of conditions. Now, the problem is you can be aggressive in these conditions, but sometimes aggressiveness will not award when trading inside of a range, right? Like, if you look at this move we've had right now is out of the ordinary. We have not had a move like this, rarely. That's the last time. There's only, in this whole range, we've only had these type of moves. The downside moves we've had once, and they've all come from the top of the range. Twice, and this is the third time. So most of the time, you're getting stuck in wicks like this, which makes it tough. But I did discuss this option breaking the low. So people could have taken it if they were comfortable giving it the shot. If you were comfortable giving it the shot, then that's it, I guess. You know, that's the option, and you would have been out now with some profits. This was your idea. Let's see what's this on German 30. Looking for sell there. I just don't understand the entry here right now. I don't understand the entry. I think if you're gonna take an entry, best entry was maybe the 15. I mean, did that 30 close there? Yeah, I just don't understand this entry at support. And are you entering on this bullish candle? Which entry are you taking? Because you have to show me which entry you're looking for. Normally, whatever candle this last edge is on shows the entry. So I'd like to see what you're looking to do here. It's a very basic plan you have here. Your markup is pretty wrong. There's no levels. There's just boxes of key zones. I think you need more detail here. I think this is why you're struggling. Right? This is not correct for me. You need to put in some work. There's just, yeah, boxes are fine to identify zones, but we want to be more accurate than zones, right? We want to be more accurate. So where's our 4-hour supports? Where's our daily supports? Can you buy and sell through those daily supports? We want to be more accurate. And then you can maybe take this, if you're basing it on a 30-minute, with that idea, you can put stop loss boom above the range here for 87 points. And then hope for it to come down to the bottom of the range. How do you trade a wick fill in that position? you look for a top wick to be formed, a good one, because you're trying to get the liquidity for price to go down. Once a top wick is formed, you just trade it on the flip. If it formed a low before, like it made a bottom wick and then went up on the open, you're going to take it breaking that bottom wick. You're not going to take it directly on the flip. You'll take it breaking that bottom wick. Boxes are daily and gray boxes are, yeah, but we want lines, not boxes. We want accurate as hell. I want it fully accurate because that box might be tradable. That box might be tradable. You could look for a trade between those boxes. But let's say you are having a box like this big. It's a massive zone, man, that you could actually look from maybe sells from here to here. That could have been a sell. You know, maybe a sell from here to here can be an option. So if you put lines, then you will get accuracy, you know. I only use boxes when there's two levels close to each other and I want to mark both. A good position on GJ that. Yeah, first option. Need some balls. Just go for it. Fuck the loss.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Sure, man.
When we move stop loss, we move it, you know, so that we are like break even at that point. But I'm having this idea. What if we move break even? I mean, we move the stop loss not to exactly break even, but slightly into the loss category, so that, you know, we have to take a loss, but it's a small loss, and that way more of our break even trades will actually have a chance to go all the way to our target. What do you think?
Yeah, but I mean, that's just managing a trade, right? That's different. So that's a whole separate thing. You can choose to manage a trade as well. Totally fine. You know, that you're just choosing to manage a trade. So instead of taking a full loss, you're taking a partial loss.
Right, like this trade that I just took, I moved stop loss into slight profit, and it just touched it, and that was it. And then it went all the way to target. So if I moved it into like the slight loss category,
or just move it straight to break even.
Or that, yeah.
You know, instead of slight profit.
Yeah, slight profit was a mistake.
Yeah. That sometimes bites you.
That's what
happens. This is a good example of a wick fill. Unless this taps something, you have to check. You have to check, Finn, if this taps something. If this didn't tap anything, then valid wick fill. Valid. Everything dumped? Yes, everything dumped. I saw. Gold dumped, DAX dumped, stonks dumped. My close above, my broker close above, so no trade. Yeah, every broker was slightly different here. I'm seeing a very inconsistency, but the majority of brokers close below, so I feel like it would still be an option in my opinion. Nice, all plans were correct today, 100% accuracy and plan. I think maybe need to be more aggressive. I'm just a bit hesitant. was hesitant. But if I was more aggressive here, that's an easy trade. I called this trade as well, but I don't know. You know, I had my reasons to be hesitant here. You know, this is typically a losing trade in a range because we're still trading in the chop zone. I call this a chop zone. Outside of here, it's clean. And this was a trade I was supposed to take, but you saw what happened with the top wick. It was confused. I was confused with the top wick. You know. So that's what happened with me and this for the wick fill. So here I'm okay with the decision here. It's just a bit of a shame the way the candle opened here so random. It opened very random and I'm not sure what to do in that scenario because it already filled the wick, then came back. So my decision was to wait for a 5-minute close below because since it already filled the wick, then came back. And instead it just decided to push through. I can't avoid that. So the only way I could have got in is got in on this candle here. But like I said, this candle is in the chop zone. What do I mean by the chop zone? Well, chop zones inside of range can be very nasty. They can be very nasty and do bullshit like this, and you just absolutely get fucked up. So below here, it's not a chop zone. We had very clean candles here. Here is a nice zone, which is why it was my original plan to look for trades in this zone. This is a money zone. This is a money zone. So that's why I was looking for trades in that zone, but it's just weird with that top wick. I'm just thinking maybe I should have ignored it and just went, but at the same time, if I lost it, I would have said to myself, I shouldn't have ignored the way it opened on a gap up and messed up like that. So I think both ways here, I'm kind of, I'm not sure. Like I'm going to contradict myself both ways and say that, yes, maybe now it would look good, you know. Cheers, Hector. Take care, my man. Good luck, good luck. It's condition ass. I mean, it was a clean move. It's just so weird the way this opened, which is why I made the decision to say, let me wait for this 5 closing below. Because it could have closed above here. We get a deeper retracement, then take sells below. But the way it opened was weird. Like it's a gap on my broker. Let me show you. Have a look at it on a 1 minute here. Where was that open? So my broker gapped up open here first. You see, gapped up. This gapped up. It made a top wick quickly and then flipped and broke the low immediately. Immediately flipped. Now the way I like to take this is to let it make a top wick, and then I have a sell stop at the low. I take it, sell stop on the low, fill the wick and look for the continuation. But instead this opened, quickly flipped, and when it flipped, I didn't see it fill the wick. Price was literally here. When I look at it, it then jumped to here. It was a jump. It was not like it filled the wick no smoothly. No, it jumped. And then it flipped back bullish. So that's what confused me. I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good. So whenever it jumps, fill the wick, I'm like, shit. And then my new low was here. Sebi got out, BE. Let's see, Mamma Mia, what happened. Ouch. It's not a bad BE though with the push. Don't FOMO, bro. Don't FOMO. Don't FOMO. Don't FOMO. You're at the bottom of the range. Don't FOMO. Even DAX just pushed here. Even there's no way in the 1 minute. Can you believe that? Even 1 minute. I guess maybe this. Let's see if that's at some sort of support. That's at support though. No. Wow. That's a good call, Harry, avoiding that kind of shit. Yeah, it was a great plan here. It was a good... I think the only way I get in today... Look, I'll tell you one thing, guys. I'll tell you one thing. If I took this 15-minute here and it faked out and stopped me out, I'll be quite upset with myself trying to force something in the range. I would have sat here and said it's a terrible mistake to force something in the range. I should have waited for the original plan, close below 340. And the plan happened, but the way the candles formed made me hesitate. It's as simple as that. No need to overcomplicate. And that's what happens sometimes. You know, sometimes dumb money will make money in this type of situation when it's not a specific plan. But you know, if you were able to get in earlier and take this, it's fine. I just slowly hesitated here. You missed it? I didn't miss it. No. If everything happened according to what I wanted to do and I didn't press the button, I would have said I missed it. Yes, then you would be correct. Then you would be correct. But at the end of the day, I think the real reason here is that you missed it and now you're trying to find someone to blame. It's not going to help you in your trading career like this. I've made plenty of people money that they have not given me anything back for. Next time it happens, it will decide to go the opposite way. That's the thing. It's like trying to choose which one. I just wish, like, the only thing that I think you can be upset about today is that the way it opened. If it just opened cleanly, it's an easy trade. It's really an easy trade. The only second thing I'm trying to think about in my mind is about re-entering just break of the low. Harry, I'm having serious problem trailing after I hit my TP1. Most of the time, just keep looking at 1 hour and 5 minutes and reverse hit you out. Trail on 1 minute or stop trailing. Just hit your TP1 and get out. Take the fucking profit, man. Don't get greedy. Just get out. Take it and go. A 30 pip stop in a range without enough confirmation. I think you made the right decision. Yeah, I can tend to agree. My plan for S2 sells. Yeah, but there's no S2 there, you know. You would have been stopped out on the first S2 if you actually took an S2. You know, this is the thing here. So this is what I mean. 150-minute candle is not enough. This is why people lose on S2s. Is because this is above this range. What you need is you need the close back inside of the range. Even this, where you said watch zone, is totally correct as well. It could do that, but by the time it closes here, you'd be fine. So if you took this S2 here, break of low, you would have been stopped out here at the high. Boom. This would have stopped you out just for your plan to play out. But to be honest, if you'd be super pissed there, and if you sent that trade to me at another time, I would have just told you you need a 50-minute candle closing back in the range. Like, I could see that happening. The sad thing is this next 15-minute candle here didn't close below. Now, if you're super aggressive today and sold on the sell bias today, I wonder if a 5 could have done it. Even the 5. I mean, I would have said a 5 closing below here. That would have been a shot, and maybe I would have considered it. But realistically, even the 5 didn't give you that close there. 30-minute, even 30-minute didn't give you a close. It's extremely tough, man. When the only thing you could have done is probably been stopped out, because the only way you would have got into this if you were sold on that trading before it closes below, right, is you would have taken this setup to, been stopped out, and then there would have just been no way in. So the best way to avoid this type of situation is not to take the silly option first. Is just to wait for the solid option that will actually pay you. Because the only way, yeah, I mean, 5-minute, look, with all this confirmation, this candle faking out, the one grabbing liquidity, if you had a 5 here, I would have said that's probably your way in on this. But even the 5 didn't give you a way in. And when, you know, this closed that support, you broke structure towards the upside, it's just tough. But remember, this is not really a regular move. We had the whole stock market dump right now. Some random dollar strength came in, you know, and we saw everything just do that downside move. Look at SPX went down, NASDAQ went down, of course DAX went down, GJ went down as well, and they're all following the same move right now, trying to bounce a little bit, if you see. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Can we consider DAX buys? You need change of structure because of bearish bias. Since we have bearish bias, yes, we've tapped the supports now. You could look for that counter trend, but you want change of structure here, where this 5-minute close bearish, next one at least break the high minimum or close above better. Close above better, break the high minimum. Those are the two things you want to look for. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to hop off stream now, guys. Appreciate you all. We discussed the positions on GJ here. Most of you guys were able to catch it. Very good if you did. But I would say just be careful. If you entered it and you had some weird price action, I don't really agree. Because long term, that will cook you. This option here, I do think I could have been a bit more aggressive here. If I was sitting on some good profits for the month, probably would have capitalized on that. But I have to go kind of a safe approach. And that's it. So appreciate you all. Hopefully catch you on tomorrow's stream. Great discussion today, guys. Some really good points we were able to capitalize off. Just shame about that open. That open actually was a solid trade for the wick fill. Shame about that. But the nice thing to see is plan played out 100%. Analyzing this market's like a king. That's all I can ask for. Because if I can analyze it correctly, then I make money. If I can't analyze it correctly, if I'm not getting my zones correct, if I'm not getting my direction correct, guess what? It's impossible to make money. Like the last part of the puzzle is taking the entry, and that's the only part where you just have to be disciplined to press the button when you're supposed to press the button. But the hardest part is getting the direction right and getting where buys and sells make sense right. That's the hardest part, you know? So yeah, appreciate you all. Have a good day. Speak to you guys soon, all right? Peace. Cheers, guys. Peace.